We say, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live on a Thursday night. A little different than what we have done this week. It's been a long, busy day. I'm just going to be honest with you guys going into this one. I'm tired. I have had a long week. I've had a long day. It's been an amazing week, though. We've had some good guests on here. We've had some good shows. No guests tonight. I tried to get Michael Hogue, who, if you guys don't know, is a great member of our community on here. Great Purdue fan. He umpires games in baseball. I guess he's an official. And I guess he said he was busy, so he's unable to join us tonight. But I'm going to just try to do it solo style. I got a couple things for you guys. This will probably be a quick one just to cover enough for the Big Ten. And then tomorrow on Friday will finally be the SEC. And that one, I think we're probably going to do around the same time, maybe a little earlier. But I got a LSU fan named Chris who's supposed to come on. So we'll see how that goes. I think it should go well, but bear with me. I'm going to try to do this solo style tonight. So make sure you guys do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I love you guys, and let's get it going. So I do want to go ahead and start out. Look at Big Ten recruiting. Look at where they are for next year. Look at what they did this year. Let me see. I'm using Microsoft Edge. I don't know why Chrome wasn't working for me tonight. So let me see. I figure out. Here we go. Okay. So you look at the recruiting class so far for some teams like Ohio State and Michigan. This is this year, right? Signing the number one linebacker, C.J. Hicks. Ohio State leads the Big Ten in the recruiting cycle for this past 2021-2022 campaign. They also signed a quarterback in Devin Brown, who's a four-star athlete. He's number one in the state of Utah. They finished overall number 4 in the country, atop the Big Ten. You got Penn State, who signed guys like Drew Aller, who's a 5-star quarterback. Nick Singleton's a 5-star running back. Of course, Penn State, as we know, can sign some good running backs. 4 stars all the way through, and running back, offensive tackle, wide receiver. There's a lot that Penn State brought in. Danny Dennis Sutton is a 5-star defensive lineman from Owing Mills, Maryland. He's 6'5", 250. They brought in a 4-star edge rusher who is 4th in the state of Pennsylvania from Harrisburg, Mekhi Flowers. Let me pull up their class so you guys can see it. Let me see right here. Okay. Anthony Ivy is a 4-star from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Ken Talley is a 4-star from Philadelphia. They got a couple different guys from Philadelphia, actually. They got someone from Scranton. They got a 3-star offensive tackle, and they brought in 2 transfers. Mitchell Tinsley is a 3-star Western Kentucky transfer. He's a wide receiver. And then they brought in Cornell offensive lineman Hunter Norzad. So, honestly, this is still pretty good for Penn State. Obviously not one of the top rated, like, tier 1 programs, but I consider them to be at least a tier 2, if not tier 3 program. Ohio State, I would say, is tier 1. So you look at Ohio State, and a team like that, to see them atop the ranks in the Big Ten in recruiting is no surprise. They brought in 2 5-stars, 17 4-stars, and 2 3-star athletes, and finished dead at 300 points in the recruiting class. So it's amazing to see that. Congrats to Ohio State, I guess, for leading the Big Ten in recruiting. Some other teams like Michigan, Michigan State, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, Rutgers, Purdue, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Illinois, Northwestern, and then Minnesota in that order for the rest of the Big Ten recruiting rankings. So, anyway, that being said, I do want to go ahead and get into it. Let's see. Want to talk about Iowa tonight. And the reason being, they won the Big Ten West last year, made it to Indianapolis for the Big Ten title. Well deserved. But they were defensive led. So the question is, how did they get back? But how did they get better? I think finally, and I said this about Iowa, I think when it came down to facing the offense where they knew they were going to have to compete with, like a real offense, even if it was middle of the line, that's what held them back. That's what got them a couple losses on the season. I mean, they were able to overcome teams like Penn State, but I mean, come on, you play Michigan, you can't keep up with that. Would they lose that game? 24-7, something like that. I don't remember what it was, but can Iowa produce an effective? It doesn't have to be amazing, but something effective, something that can get them going in the right direction, right? The offensive coordinator, Coach Ferentz' son, Brian Ferentz, comes back, right? Got a couple things we could look at here. I do want to share from Hawk Central, which I believe. Let me see. This is like a USA Today or whatever. This is from last month or a couple months ago. Chad Skiddo put this one out. Media coverage of spring football has seemingly exploded in the past decade. Conference TV networks have airtime to fill, and so on and so forth. On Tuesday at the 2/3 mark of spring football in Iowa City after the 10th of 15 practices, maybe one of the best hints at positive change with the Hawkeyes' beleaguered offense came from the popular punter from down under. Right. Insert your joke here about Iowa's offense having nowhere to go but up from last year's 121st ranking among 130 FBS teams, or that Taylor's 80 punts last season have nowhere to go but down. While Taylor set up an impressive but dubious school record last season with 3,688 punt yards and loves playing, he humorously noted of a repeat performance. That's not going to benefit the team. They did have to punt a lot, right? Let me pull something up. Hold on. What's going on here? So let's look at what they had last year as far as quarterback play, right? Or really just overall stats. They won the West. That their defense won it for them. That's fair, right? Spencer Petras, 1,880 yards. That's average. had a 57 completion percentage. They had no O line. They had no receivers. They did not have the offense. The question is, can Iowa produce an effective offense in 2022? I think they can. I think it's only up from here. Right? Brian Ferentz, right? Look, if he can't get it going this year, Kirk's got to fire his kid. I mean that's fair. When it came down to it against Michigan, or they could have even played Ohio State, their defense, spot on amazing. Their offense, struggle bus all the way. There's no excuses. They got to figure some stuff out this year, right? I'm going to share real quick. Josh Pate analyzed, actually, I think last week, pretty recently, actually. He kind of went over on his, what's it called? The Late Kick, I believe is his show name. Yeah. He analyzed Iowa's chances to win the Big Ten West in 2022 and had a lot to say. He said, Coach Parker, he's the best defensive coordinator in the country right now. That was Terry Roberts, who's a cornerback. He prepares us day in and day out, mentally, physically, and all that. He tells us to strive to be perfect, even though no one in this world is going to be perfect. No one can be perfect. They got the defense down flat, like we said, right? Kirk Ferentz said we've seen a lot of areas where there is growth. He said that after Iowa's final spring practice in April. Today is clearly indicative of this. We still have a long ways to go. Overall, the work habits and attitude have been good. Our leadership has been good. Probably got a little bit more personality than most of our teams at this point. That's because we have some really good older players, experienced players. That part is all good. Next 2 weeks, the guys will be in a little different type of training regimen, lighter, finish up their academic work, finals. Guys will have a good break, then get hard in it in June. So here's my assessment. I think that Iowa needs to have an effective offense. It doesn't have to be Bryce Young. It doesn't have to be Stetson. It doesn't have to be like that. No. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough. And I know Tua Tagovailoa once said, like, good is not good enough, right? Sometimes it takes time to develop guys. It takes time to work with them. It takes time to build that kind of offense. It does. It takes time to produce an effective offense. That's all they do. Well, okay, let me take that back. Producing an effective offense, if it's effective, yeah, it's helping us out. It'll help us win a game or two. It doesn't have to be 50 points a game. It doesn't have to be launch the ball downfield. If they can get a good running game going, I think, trust me, I think they're set up. I think they're set up. If they could get a good run game going, they open up, by the way, with South Dakota State. Then, of course, they get Iowa State, Nevada, Rutgers, Illinois. I've looked at their schedule. I think I had them 9-3. I still have them going for a good record, right? Um, they did lose their center, Tyler Linderbaum, of course, last year to the draft. He's with the Ravens. See they can get some good offensive linemen, right? And they've had that. They got Tyler Goodson. They got Spencer Petras. Then you go to the receiving core: Max Cooper, Jack Johnson, Keegan Johnson, right? Alex Critta, Jackson Ritter, to name a few guys on the depth chart. Sam Laporta is a tight end. They bring a lot back. They have the weapons. They have the talent. It's not about talent. It's coaching. It's coaching. So, not to spend too much time on Iowa tonight, they got to take some risk. They cannot stick to the run game the entire time this season. They can't. Got to throw the ball through the air. Got to take risks. Got to take chances and see what they can do. I'm not sure what they run. I didn't do that much research into it tonight. But I can tell you this. I expect Iowa's offense to take a good step forward, and it can be effective. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call that. I think Iowa wins the West again. We will see. But they got to get the offense together. All right. Let's see. Who do I have? I'm going to do something I haven't done this week because I am going by conference, by the way. I am going by conference for the team previews. I think I only got 2 left. I think I got Wisconsin and Minnesota. Could I knock both of them out? Could we do that? And that could probably end the show. Well, I got to do who wins the Big Ten, but let me see. Yeah, I think I got 2 more. I could do that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and go with who wins the Big Ten this year. And then I'll do at least one of these team previews. So overall, who's going to win the conference? That's the big part. And I think it's a no-brainer to say Ohio State. I think that's the obvious choice. Of course it is. Jackson Smith and the Jigba and CJ Stroud, Travion Henderson, they all come back. A great offensive, dynamic trio, whatever. And that is the obvious choice to go with is Ohio State, I think. But is it the right choice? Yeah. I think so. I think Ryan Day. It's so funny, right? Oh, Urban Meyer's retiring from football, and how do we know that Ohio State's going to be okay without him? I love Ryan Day. I think he's an amazing head coach. He's an offensive mind, and he worked a little bit with Haskins. You had Justin Fields, of course, and now you got CJ Stroud. I love CJ Stroud. I love his attitude. I love what he did in the Rose Bowl against Utah. Of course, I remember going live for that game. Uh, it was a good one. Uh, you know, Ohio State should be the favorite. Now, that being said, be careful. We talk about Iowa. What if they figure out some offense? Does a team from the West finally break the cycle? Because it's been the East forever, right? When's the last? I don't have it in front of me, but when's the last time? Actually, I take that back. I do have it here. Let me see. Haven't had a Western Division team win since Wisconsin won 70-31 in 2012. We got to go back 10 years. 10 years to find a Western champion, right? Because you had Penn State in 2016, before that, Michigan State, Ohio State, all these years, and Michigan finally got their, gauntlet. The no brainer choice is Ohio State. I think outside of Ohio State, it could be Michigan again. I think it could be one of three teams from the East. Let's start with the East Division: Ohio State, Penn State, or Michigan, right? Be on the lookout for Sean Clifford and Penn State too. They could be, right? And again, I say Ohio State is favored, but they're not too far ahead. I think there's still a small gap. Um, you know, but I mean, is Michigan set up enough to repeat? You got Cade McNamara, but you lost Aiden Hutchinson and Hassan Haskins. I think you bring back Blake Corum to help with the run game, which giving him the ball a few times last year gave him good experience. Penn State recruiting greatly, has good depth, could be that good. We'll just have to wait and see. I am going to go ahead and just let you know I'm picking Ohio State. I just think it's the no brainer. I mean, CJ Stroud, Travion Henderson, Jackson Smith, and Jigma, they didn't lose too much to the draft. This is a young team. They got one of the Heisman candidates, one of the Heisman favorites at quarterback. Why would it not be Ohio State in Ryan Day? It's possible. I mean, I, I'm not saying they have a perfect season, but if they fall, they'll get back up. It's all gonna depend, in my opinion, in the country, and it's not even just my opinion. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, it's facts." It's facts because you just never know. Because they could fall. It's possible, but I doubt it. I like Ohio State this year, and I think they're set up for a great season with CJ Stroud, who might even win the Heisman. But we got to play the season. We got to play these games, and we got to see what happens. Give me the Buckeyes in 2022. I mean, the Iowa offense could be key. It could be. Anyway, any comments, any questions, feel free to put them in there. I've I'm gonna be honest, this is all I had for you guys tonight. I didn't have much. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it could have gone longer. I was really hoping to get a guest on tonight, and Michael Hogue, but I understand people are busy. But Michael Hogue's a good guy, though. You guys say hello to him if you ever see him in the comments. Great guy, great Purdue fan. He's an umpire too in baseball. So yeah, let's let's go for some more time. Let me set this up. Because I think I only have Minnesota and Wisconsin. I'll at least do one. Let's do. I guess let's do Wisconsin. Let me set this up. Get the right banners. Badges. Hold on. The Big Ten West, Wisconsin Badgers. Pull up last year's schedule and, of course, this year, which actually it looks like they are. I think they could be set up for a pretty good year. But give me a second and I'll get prepared because I'm going to clip this and upload it. So we got 2022, we got 2021. They did have a rough year last year, I think. And I'll get some stuff from Athlon Sports too, just to kind of get more information. But let me do an intro. Now I just got to put in what they went last year. If I can copy that. All right, let's do this. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with a quick video today, looking at the 2022 Wisconsin Badgers. Let's go. Looking at the Wisconsin Badgers for 2022, a team that has just fallen off in recent years. Are they bad? They're not terrible, but they haven't been great. Wisconsin is hard to figure out now in so many different ways. The Badgers are they're a good football program, and Paul Chris is the head coach. He has done a good job, an outstanding job. Unfortunately, though, actually, it was a pretty good year. It was improvement from 2020 with the COVID year, but 6-3 in the Big Ten, won a bowl game, 9-4 overall. Let's look at what they did last year before we get into 2022 real quick. All right. So, looking at 2021, 9-4, they went 6-3 in the Big Ten overall. They lost their opener to Penn State. Then they go beat Eastern Michigan. Should have no problem with that one. They get a bye week. They lose to Notre Dame. They lost to Michigan, as did other teams that lost to the eventual Big Ten champions. At Illinois, they won. Army Black Knights, they won. At Purdue, they won. Iowa, they beat Iowa, believe it or not. That was the game for Iowa, which I mentioned in the Iowa preview, where that was one of the games where they just needed the offense, and they finally met a team that had some that they needed to keep up with. But you win your homecoming game in Madison against Iowa. You beat Rutgers. You beat Northwestern. You beat Nebraska. And then you lose to Minnesota, but you win a bowl game against Arizona State. Overall, I don't think Wisconsin should hang their heads. They ended up winning a bowl game. They had 4 regular season losses, 9-4 win streak of 1. I got to give it to them. That's not a bad run there. But what about 2022? What could it hold this year? All right. You look at their schedule. Open up with Illinois State. Then you go play Washington State, or you play them at home. You don't really go anywhere. You play New Mexico State, at Ohio State, Illinois, at Northwestern, at Michigan. You play Purdue in your homecoming game. Then I think is perfect timing for a bye week because you get an interesting stretch here to close things out. Maryland, at Iowa, Nebraska, on the road in Lincoln, and then Minnesota. This is going to be a tough one to figure out. It was a really good defense last year. Probably not going to be as good as it was this year, right? So you got Daryl Peterson, CJ Goez on the defensive side of the ball and pass rush. There's a lot. Senior nose tackle Keanu Benton is really, really good. He comes back for a fifth year. He looks to improve his draft stock. He decided to not go pro. Um, they added 3-year starter Caesar Williams and Fayen Hicks out of the transfer portal. They also got Justin Clark, Cedric Dort, and Jay Shaw on the defensive side of the ball. I would say this. They're going to be loaded defensively. I want to know what they're going to run on the offense, what Coach Chris has. I see a 3-0 start to the season before you take a loss to the Buckeyes. I think that's fair to say. Illinois is kind of a coin flip because Illinois can be a trap game for some teams like Wisconsin. They've given you some fits in recent years. Northwestern, Michigan State, I should say. You get Purdue in your homecoming game. It's like as the season goes on, I think so does the difficulty for the schedule. Except you get Ohio State right there at the end of September instead of like right there at the end of the season. But it's going to pick up once you hit Big Ten play for sure. 9-4 last year, 6-3 in the conference. I do see them hitting a bowl game. I do see them going above 500, quite a bit above 500 actually, more than 6 wins. I think the Ohio State game is definitely a loss. They got a lot of 3:30 games, 3:30 kickoffs. East Lansing's already got one. They don't have a TV network yet. I'm high on Michigan State. I think that's a loss. Northwestern, I think they're struggling. They went 4-8 or 3-9 last year. They're going to try to get back to it. I think you're a better team than Northwestern. You come off a good win against Illinois there. This will be interesting and fun to watch. I think Wisconsin's a team that everyone should keep their eye on throughout the season. Because you never know what you're going to get. Are you going to get a 10-win Wisconsin team like you had in maybe 2017, which did they get screwed out of the playoffs because of Alabama? It's a great possibility, but I'm glad Alabama got in, of course. Are you going to get a 10-win, double-digit figure type of Wisconsin team? Are you getting below 500, right at 500? Could they go 6-6? Do they go a little bit higher than that? I see a similar situation to what they had last year, honestly. They went 8-4 last year. They have a similar schedule to what they had last year. They have some cupcakes, and then they got Big Ten play. I'm high on teams like Michigan State and Purdue, as I mentioned. Purdue's their homecoming game. I think they keep that game close. Gosh, this is going to be tough. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this up. I'm going to say 8-4, and I think they lose to Ohio State, Michigan State, Purdue, and then Iowa. Yes, Iowa. Iowa I'm high on, and I think is going to win the West. And Wisconsin being in that division, that's a tough division right now. I really think so. I think it starts with, and I think with a record like this, Wisconsin's likely to come in second or third place in the final standings when it's all said and done. I like Purdue as the West runner-up, honestly. But we'll see. But I'm going to stick to an 8-4 season for the Wisconsin Badgers. Michigan State, you'll lose to Ohio State. There's a lot on here. I think you could beat you could beat Maryland. You could probably handle Minnesota too. Minnesota's taken some steps back. They have. So give me 8-4 for Wisconsin in 2022. And with that being said, we are almost done with the Big Ten team previews. Only one left, Minnesota. And I'll get that out for you guys ASAP before we move on to the ACC. So that's going to do it here. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. He's got a great plan. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. And until next time, folks, Ballard Sports Media, checking out. Love y'all. Peace. All right. So there you have it, my predictions for Wisconsin. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one there. I'll clip it and I'll upload it for you guys. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get out of here. I covered everything. Again, I hate that I couldn't get a guest on. I really tried, but Michael Hogue had games to umpire and nobody else got back to me. So, but it happens. Anyway, I'll get out of here. I love you guys. Like I said, Jesus loves you. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. We got one more day. Hopefully it goes better tomorrow because we got the SEC. That I definitely have some guests for. And maybe a couple more that I can reach out and talk to try to get on. But conference week's been fun. Had some great guests this week. Tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, SEC talk to close it all out. And we hope to see you there. Love y'all. Peace.